Testing 1, 2, and we are live. Welcome, everyone, to the 108th Saturday morning stand-up with me, your host, Bronze Dragon, as always. Some people went away during the low period of Splinterlands. I've always been here. So more than two and a half years of covering Splinterlands now, and more than 2 years of this continuous Saturday morning live stream. So thank you for joining me. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about today, and we can dive in. A lot of stuff, obviously, revolving around Conclave Arcana's pre-sale today. Obviously, we can take a look at how that's going. It's a few days in, and lots of packs have sold overall. We're still in the lower percentages, but when you look at the amount of money that has been spent just thus far, a lot of talk has been had about selling out the pre-sale, and I don't know how much. Obviously, it would be nice to say, oh, the pre-sale sold out, but I'm looking at overall just how much money has been spent on the packs. Considering that Web3 is, I don't want to say looked down upon, but in standard gaming circles, a lot of people don't think highly of Web3. But when we look at the numbers, there are a lot of people that think highly of Splinterlands, okay? And I've been mentioning in the last few of my videos, this is a game that has been around for 7 years now. Most games, let alone Web3 games, don't make it this far, So we can go from there, but we can see that, the standard packs are at 16% sellout. Alchemy packs are at 36%. Legendary packs are at 15%. Alchemy packs are proving to be the most popular. Obviously they have, going back to what Gathering talked about, before the pre-sale even started, they have the highest percentage chance of dropping a black foil. And, I'm kind of looking at them differently now. Because usually I approach from a standard pack perspective. But for me, as a player who will be going in, if I play in the new Modern, it will be like pushing a reset button on Modern. That's basically what it's going to be like, because Chaos Legion is going to be cycling out. And I'll get to chat here in a minute. I just wanted to get through this statement and we can talk about it. It's like push and reset, right? Chaos Legion will be cycling out. A high amount of people had max level decks. A lot of people were playing at the top end. Now it's going to be almost back to where it was when I started. When I started, I was doing good to field a silver level team. And obviously I know there's no graduations like that now, but we still refer to it because you can still say, okay, well, I will, we talk about this, I talk about this, especially for new players. If you go in, you're going to really control your deck by how high you level your archons, which previously were called summoners, right? You can still go in and say, okay, I don't want to spend $6,000 on a max level Conclave Arcana deck, but I could spend a little bit less and possibly field summoners that are at level 4, and then look at what kind of card levels those can cast, and buy my other cards appropriately or open packs and level those up appropriately, and just be happy playing at that level. That's still going to be, like I said, it's going to take us back to before Chaos Legion arrived, and in my way of thinking, one of the biggest reasons that I like this whole idea of kind of push and a reset. I love the Chaos Legion cards. Obviously they were massively overprinted, and that led to a whole other problem that we've been trying to get past. And obviously from a card sales perspective, the team is going to try to sell as many card packs as possible. That's how they make their money, right? But you don't necessarily have to field a max level deck, right? Gathering the Magic talks about it all the time on his videos, where a lot of his decks are the silver, gold level, somewhere in there, and he approaches it from that perspective. And that bringing this full circle back to what I was talking about, alchemy packs. This is how I started thinking differently about alchemy packs this past week, because I thought to myself, well, if I'm not going to be able to field a max level deck, or even close to a max level deck, to get up into champ in modern, if I want to play in modern, right? Why not just go with some alchemy packs? Because you can get gold foils, and it's pointed out numerous times, one of the advantages of gold foils, other than getting more rewards when you win, is that they don't start out at level 1. You can field automatically level 2 or level 3 gold foils right off the bat, and have a little bit higher of a playing deck to start out with. Okay, so that's what changed my idea. Now, this whole past week, I did buy a few standard packs. I bought like 20 standard packs, and then I actually went in and I sold 25 rebellion packs, and I bought 10 alchemy packs with the proceeds that I made off of the rebellion packs, because I had 100 rebellion packs. Now I got 75 left. But I thought to myself, well, I could open those up, but what good would they be? Okay. Because I didn't really dive into Rebellion. My other Rebellion cards, I don't have much. So it wouldn't give me a lot of gameplay value to just open up my packs. I thought, well, I could keep some of them and stake them, because you can stake them on the new wagons for the drops, right? Get half the amount of points. And that's possible. That's why I didn't go in and sell all of them. I did sell a portion of them, and I think I like the idea of approaching it from the alchemy packs. Okay, that's a big lead in. That was almost 7 minutes worth of talking. So I do want to give a shout out to everybody. Thanks for supporting the channel and coming back on a weekly basis, watching my videos, leaving comments on the videos. Appreciate it. Gathering the Magic is here. Welcome. Says, good morning all. Haven't bought any packs yet. Waiting until the end of the sale so I can continue to stack DEC on Splinter Trader. That's another thing I'm continuing. I haven't touched any of the DEC I have on Splinter Trader, and it continues to make some DEC every day. In fact, that's my primary earnings in Splinterlands. I mean, I am making some SPS on a daily basis by wins, but let's look at SPSs went down. I mean, the big hype right before, you can see the hype right before the pre-sale went live, and then it just jumped off of a cliff. It hasn't, went down to its previously lows, and it does look like it's recovering a little bit. I had to, since the standard way I buy SPS and DEC is through the Transact bridge, since that went offline a couple weeks ago now, I stopped buying, just through the ease, of that. I do have some other tokens that I have in a limbo status that took 6 days where I bought them to actually clear, so I can use it, because that whole process just needs to be ironed out, and we need to have that bridge back in place to make it easier for new players. But either way, I bought my packs with credits, right? Except for those packs I sold and used the DEC. So that's where I stand. Crypto Beaver's in the house. Welcome to the Beaver. Says, good morning all. Same here. Waiting a bit to pull the trigger on Conclave Arcana. No need to rush to purchase, as we cannot open our packs. This is true, and it doesn't look like we're going to have a sellout really quickly, like right off the bat. That would have already happened. But I have heard there are some of the bigger players that are doing the same thing, holding back a little bit. So we'll see. I just wanted to jump in and buy a few packs just to say I supported the team. I got 5 BCX of the Arcane Skinwalker, which gets me a level 2, so it's not going to really be... I was really hyped for these pre-sale promos, but the fact of the matter is I'll never get it to the level I need to use it. But with that said, maybe I can get it to a silver level and I can play it in modern, back to my other point, and I won't get a Grammel, but I'm not a big modern player. Most of my actions this last week has really been on land, to tell you the truth, because Yeah, I bought another plot of land. I'm up to 22 now. But if you watched Gathering put out a short video last night. His point being, and I've seen this all along because I check the land costs and price on a daily, sometimes multiple times a day, just to try to find a deal. And I consider most of the land I've picked up, at least 10 or 12 plots, what I considered at that point deals. But the deals are drying up. That's the main point that he had in his short video. You can check on his channel that he dropped last night. But yeah, it was no surprise to me because I've seen this all along. I just don't do like the land watch video like he does. That's his thing. But as a person that checks them out on a daily, multiple times a day basis, this land has, we've been talking about it. I know both Gathering and myself for, since we started talking about land, the grain producing lands have all went up. I told you, months and months and months ago, grab yourself some grain lands, right? They're going up. The land that is going to be used that gives you good bonuses for producing the nightmare potions, those prices have went up. So everything has basically went up, including the cards that you're going to put on them. So I've been kind of shifting around we'll switch channels here a little bit. I have some plots in Tostrington. And the thing is, I have one rare lake that is magic, and that will be producing nightmare. I always want to say nightmare. Midnight potions. Why do I want to say nightmare? That's nightmare packs on the other game. But see, it's currently a grain farm, which means that will come away from grain farm, which means in this region, I only have 2 common grain farms, which means I have to beef up their production to be able to continue to pay, make enough grain for the rest of these, this logging camp, this ore mine, and then this will be producing the potions. So I have to beef this up. So there's a lot of thinking going on about, hey, I need to take these 2 basically have max level gold foil commons on them. I need to kind of increase that production. They're already staked out with DEC, so that's fine. I just need to increase their production points because whenever this grain farm comes offline, it's a rare, it's going to really hit me. Just that kind of thing has been most of my week, trying to shift things around. I'll get back to chat here in a minute, but I also picked up another plot in Ravenwood. Ravenwood is where I'm heavily invested, okay? I originally bought into Ravenwood because this is Nate's region. Okay, Nate has a lot of land in this region. Because I wanted to support it, I felt it was a good move because he's a member of the team. I love his storyline and the artwork they produce and everything. So that's the reason I went into this region. But either way, I found the last deal I found was here. So I've got a good amount of grain farms. My Magic Mountain, the reason I started talking about this was this will also switch over to producing the potions. I do have enough grain here to go ahead and keep going, so I don't really have to worry about that so much. But I probably will shift things around so that I can get a little bit more production points going for the potions, obviously. Okay, let's dive back into chat, see what everybody's doing. I'm talking a lot today. KGM Jams in the house. Welcome, KGM. Thanks for dropping by. Crypto Beaver is here. Says KGM Guild battled the Immortal Beavers Guild in the most recent brawl and won. So congrats. We've been doing pretty good. My secondary account's in the KGM Jam Guild. We've been doing pretty good. KGM Jam has been leading us through it and advancing the guild a little bit at a time as we go, trying to keep those brawls in there. Hey, if you're watching this show and you're new to Splinterlands, even if you're a brand new player, find yourself a guild. You have to. That is going to be a good, solid intake of SPS. and the SPS on a weekly basis just by playing some brawls. You know, for some reason this week the brawls were short. I only had like 4 brawls in the KGM. Yeah, my main point here is if you're new to the game, you need to get in a guild. Okay, start partaking in the brawls. You don't have to win them all. I mean, we all win some, do better some weeks. We all do worse some weeks, you know. But the point is, get in there and participate, and you'll take out some SPS and you'll take out some extra glint on a weekly basis, which in turn helps you build up your deck. You know, so we can. Just shortly here, let's log out, go over to my secondary account, which we were just talking about in the KGM guild. And, you know, let's go over to shop, guild. Still getting used to this new screen. So I can buy a new Gladius case. I've got enough points, merits for a Gladius case. I still got a bunch of glint that I need to spend on this account. But it's just, you know, you play a brawl and then you earn enough to get a Gladius case or 2 or 3 or 4, and then open it, and it strengthens your pack, strengthens your deck. And over the course, you know, we've been doing this for a couple years now. Almost 3 years now. And you know, some packs are better than none. You know, this is a standard pack. The rare is an Alfredo. Low mana matches, he's okay. There's a Collectible. I use Collectible and Isgald quite often. Very rarely use Alva or Witch of Warwick, but Collectible is used a lot. Isgald is used a lot in my hands. So that's the way it goes, you know. You keep playing your... and if you don't... where am I going here? Let's go to play. If you don't take part in the guild brawls, then you miss out on all that. And for the most part, it doesn't cost you a whole lot extra. I mean, you're playing the game. You just play some extra matches, right? Okay, let's see here. Got off on a tangent. Supreme Victory Studios is here. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Yep, can't wait for the change up. Gathering says, where is Bolts? I got an energy drink for him. Yeah, I got my energy drink here. Hey, Bolts is here. Bolt says, awesome shirt. Heard you bought it at Walmart. You know, that would probably be good for Splinterlands to get some merch out in Walmart. Walmart's pretty big. Not as big as it used to be, but no, I had these made because what's available now just don't. I've wanted just a plain T-shirt that says Splinterlands on it like this for years, and I haven't been able to find one. And I know that they got some studio or some art studio to make some recent T-shirts. They just didn't do anything for me. So you know, here a couple years, maybe a year ago, I had asked Matt in town hall, and he said, "Go ahead and make yourself, you know, if you want." Obviously, I can't sell them or anything like that, so that's a no-no. And they're not cheap. Like I got a couple of these made. I got this made in blue, and I got this made in red. I mean, it's just the Splinterlands logo. I took the logo and I put like a 10-point black outline on it so it would stick off the shirt a little bit more, and had it made. You know, they were about 35 bucks a piece. They're not cheap, right? But I like a good T-shirt, and I had been wanting one for years, doing videos, you know. What really spurred it was I was doing Atlas Earth videos, and they have some, they sell merch on their website, and I got a couple of their T-shirts. I liked it, and in fact, I had the same brand shirt made. It's made by a company called Gildan, Gildan, a nice soft T-shirt, really feel. Anyway, I started wearing those on video, and I'm like, hey, I like that. So I wanted some Splinterlands T-shirts. So that's what this is about. Gathering says, alchemy packs are perfect for me. I need the golds for guild brawls. Love gold foil cards and have a good chance for the black foils. Yeah, it's all good. And like I said, I'm thinking more along your mindset. Going into Conclave Arcana, instead of playing up in Champ, I'll be playing, if I go ahead and start playing in Modern, which should be interesting, I'll be more at the, silver level, what we previously called, like if you leveled your summoners to level 4 and all your cards up appropriately, kind of in that neighborhood, and work my way into gold at some point, right? But I'm definitely not going to be a champ like that. So it's just all about how much money you want to put into the card packs, right? So, right, people will be flipping card packs. You can probably get card packs on the secondary market a little bit cheaper than, let's go over here to the market. Okay. Other items. Let's just see how much the packs are going for. Okay, standard pack, $3.36. So I'll definitely be taking advantage of the secondary market. People are flipping these to be able to get more points through the pre-sale for the various competitions that are going on right now. So, you know, you have to consider that as well. Alex B is here. You buying cards again? Haven't bought a whole lot of cards. I've bought a couple cards this week, and specifically for land. Bolts 85 once again. What's up? Bolt says, spilled my energy drink, so I had to get another one. Oh, man, that's no good. It's like spilling your beer. Paul Taylor's here. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by, Paul. Foos is here. I love to see new names. Hey, Foos, what's up? Says, watched your new player video. It got a lot better than when I started. Nice. I got in right before Chaos Legion and bought some Untamed and a bunch of Chaos Legion, but I got discouraged during Chaos Legion. I love the new reward system they got now. You know, I was thinking about this. I was watching a video earlier. I work out in the mornings and I listen to everybody that produces basically videos on YouTube on Splinterlands. And I was just thinking, like I said, it led to that whole idea of basically this is going to be a reset. And I questioned in my mind, why am I buying Conclave Arcana packs? Well, there's a number of reasons. I love opening card packs, right? But the main thing was Rebellion. Now, hear me out. Even though I didn't buy into Rebellion, I didn't buy a bunch of Rebellion, right? They did a reset on how the card packs work and the economics of buying actual cards. In other words, there's this huge overprinting of Chaos Legion due to the way they were sold. And the prices went into the dumps, right? Now, they turned that around with the changes they put into place in Rebellion. Now, card packs are holding their value pretty good, right? So, you know, I sold 25, like I said, Rebellion packs yesterday for more than I bought them for, a little bit more, like 50 cents more a pack. I bought them for like $4 a pack, and maybe in some cases a little bit less, but I got about $4.50 a pack out of them, minus fees, right? So they're holding their value. And the cards, the singles that are put on the market, are holding their value as well. So that's one main reason why I do like all the other things surrounding them, all this cool work that they put into changing the game. Hey, you know what? You know what I forgot to do? We got to give away a pack. Okay, so instead of spinning a wheel this time around, I have got a trivia question for you. Okay, the first person, now when you go into chat, you're going to do hashtag answer, all in capital letters, so I can see it in chat, okay? The first person to give me the answer to this trivia question gets a Conclave Arcana standard pack sent to them, okay? Here's the question. Name the 5 new races with synergies and elements that are in Conclave Arcana. So you have to name the 5 new races and their elements. You know, what elements they go with. Go. And I'll keep up with chat. Okay, let's keep going with chat while people answer that question. Gathering says, can't wait for new items in the Glint store, hopefully in the next few months. You know, that's one thing I haven't heard them talk about. We've talked about it, but that's been conspicuously not talked about. Obviously, they've been, you know, leading up to the Conclave Arcana and everything that goes around that, so that's kind of not been primary, you know, on the front burner, so to speak. Druid's Blood's here. Welcome. It's always good to see you here. Hi. International Travel Channel's here. Guten Tag. And Wibble is here with the big we. As always, it's not a show without the Wibble we. Wibble says, no pandas. Hey, International Travel Channel. Foos says, I'm in a guild, but my guild is dead. Oh, that's no good. Need to find an alive guild. Okay, let's see here. I am looking for the answer. Crypto Beaver answered, but didn't give a full answer. Foos says... Foos got the answer right. Okay, so Foos gets a pack. Hey, Foos, what is your in-game name for that first pack? And these packs are courtesy of our good friend Trash Panda. Once again, a longtime supporter of the channel, supporting the channel, threw in some packs, said, hey, here's some packs. Give them away on your stream. Love, he's a trucker, so shout out to Trash Panda, keeping those shelves stocked. Whenever you're at a store buying something up, you see it on a shelf, thank a trucker. Okay, Foos' in-game name is Foos. Okay, that's pretty simple. I always ask because some people, their YouTube name is different. So that's all right. I have to ask because a lot of times people's YouTube name is different. Okay, and we'll have another drawing as long as I can remember later on. So Foos gets a standard pack. And I almost forgot about that. Okay, and... sorry if you guys lost me. This happened last stream. Sorry if there was a blip, but my YouTube studio went down and lost connection, so I had to reload. Okay, let's go back to chat. So congratulations to Foos. Yeah, I had been doing the wheel thing with people's names, and I just wanted to come up with something different. So I'll be giving away some packs over the next few live streams, and you know, expect to answer some trivia. A lot of people say, oh, I don't really get into the storyline. Well, guess what? Here's a reason to get into that storyline. I'm one of those people that love to hear Nate talk about the storyline, you know, so let's go back to chat. Let's see here. Bolts85 says, any feedback on Axler? I haven't talked to him lately. He live streams pretty frequently, but he's playing other games now. I haven't heard from him lately. Once in a while, I'll stop in and say hello on his chat. KGM says, Heroes of Might and Magic are coming to Immutable X. Nice. You know, I've been playing a lot on Immutable X lately. I've been playing RavenQuest, having a good time with it. And I've been really thinking about buying a piece of land in RavenQuest where you can actually do stuff on, you know, it's a much different game, than Splinterlands, but I've been enjoying it. Discussing Splinterlands, new name here. Good to see you. Like I said, I love to see new names. And you know, another thing occurred to me when I was listening to the chat earlier. It was Walking Keys and drawing a blank. It was Walking Keys has come back, and the thought occurred to me, you know, this is my 108th stream. Little more than 2 years, I haven't left. I've been continually doing Splinterlands content. I'm not the most popular person, and I have much different type of content than a lot of other people. And this is the kind of content live stream I do, just talking, because I'm kind of I'm not great at playing a game and talking to people at the same time, as far as, you know, concentrating on what we're talking about. So Kek Song, Kek Som G. Hopefully I said that wrong. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. It says Splinterlands equals the best blockchain game. Well, I've been playing for more than 3 years, and I'm having fun with it. Fu says, sweet. Will that just show up in my open screen? You'll get it after. I'll send the pack over after the stream's over. And next time you open up Splinterlands, it'll just say, hey, you got a gift from Bronze Dragon. And it'll show you a pack. Obviously, you can't open them yet until, next month when it goes live. Gathering says, will starter packs be able to be out on the non-card market? Will people sell them under $1? Interesting question. I assume you could sell them. I was thinking about that whole thing too, because the starter packs are going to be, in my way of thinking, a good way of building up particularly your almost said summoners, archons, right? Because, the first thing you want to do is build up your archons, right? To have a good set of the archons. Now, if you're going to play survival mode, it would behoove you to build up multiple sets of archons, and that introductory $1 pack is going to be a great way to do that. In fact, I was thinking about if a new player asked me, what's the best way to go about getting into the game when Conclave Arcana goes live? And I would probably have to say those $1 packs with a legendary pack sprinkled in once in a while. I would have to say, build up your commons and rares. You're going to build up your archons with that $1 pack. Great, easy, low price way to get into the game. And then once in a while, buy one of those legendary packs to sprinkle in some legendaries into your hand, Great way, An argument could be made, like we were talking about, for the gold foils as well. But I think my overall, circling back to your question, I think my overall point is I think we are going to see summoners at a certain point very low cost. It's almost going to be, and I'm talking about standard foil right here, because think about it, okay? You can get the summoners in your $1 pack. You can get them in your $4 pack, and you can get them in the rest of your packs as well, right? But you can also get rares and commons in the rest of the packs too. You, as well as I do, anybody here that's been playing for a while, know that when you open a standard pack, you're going to get a bunch of commons and rares, right? And once in a while, an epic, and very infrequently, a legendary, right? And even in your higher level packs, you're going to get a bunch of commons. So those commons and those rares are going to fill in over time. And we're going to have a lot. I think they're going to be very popular because, I was thinking about my approach to it is I would probably go in with the $1 packs and build up my set of archons to start off with. And then, gradually the rest of the commons and rares would fill in as I bought those dollar packs and maybe build up into the gold range, right? But as I pick off and I buy a few of those other packs, maybe a legendary, and on the gold foil side, work on those as well too. Those kind of fill in the higher end while leaving a small margin on my commons or rares to keep building up and not be like maxed out. Obviously with the archons, there's an advantage to having multiple copies of those. And a certain argument could be made for having multiple copies to work land if you're working land. So there's many different ways to approach this. I got my head in the mind space that my accounts are going to continue to play in wild, but the wild game is going to change hugely as well. Okay, there's going to be a lot of people possibly getting pushed out of modern that are going to make the decision: am I going to play in wild and pay that wild fee or not? So we definitely are going to see a lot more people going into wild. How much? Who knows? But at that point, they make the decision. Well, do I play in wild and pay the season fee, or do I just quit playing? Or do I just play on land? There's going to a lot of decisions there. But like I said the other day, it's like flipping a reset switch on the game. Crypto Beaver says, I didn't know the Conclave Arcana pre-sale gives you a free mage wagon for every 100,000 DEC or credits you spend. Yeah, that's one of the advantages. They had went back and forth there for a few days and made some changes to the whole wagon idea and how we would do that. That was another thing I was thinking about too, was what I'm going to do. And I don't know how much effort I'm going to put into these wagons. I'll probably stake out what I can. This is I'm in the wrong account. I'll probably stake out what I can, but I put some packs and some cards on the last set of wagons, and I got a couple cards. But frankly, the few cards I did were 1 or 2 BCX worth, right? And they just never got played. They just ended up being put back on wagons for wagon usage. So, okay, so here it is. I've spent the equivalent of 200,000 or $200 worth, and yeah, I've gotten 2 wagons worth. Plus, I have like 2 other wagons from Rebellion, so I'll have 4 to start off with. I do like the idea that they came up with, that they worked out to, instead of continually repairing your wagons, it's just the wagon's good until you actually get a card drop, and then you have to repair it. So I like that idea. And this is the answer to my initial trivia question, which was dwarves in fire, orcs in water, elves in why am I drawing a blank? Elves in earth, Uland in life, and gnomes in death. That was an interesting choice for death, gnomes. KGM says he got crickets from Axler. Gathering says, I would say Aftersound, Dwayne, and Bronze Dragon are the top 3 Splinterlands creators, most consistent content. Probably. Dwayne is consistent. He took a little bit of time away, but he had some, they got a new son, and that's a whole, family first. I always say that, family first, right? But he's an old schooler, and Aftersound is prolific in his putting out of videos. I'm doing good to put out a video or 2 per week, plus the live stream. So Channel Magnetic is here. Welcome. Starter packs good for prize stream prizes. Yeah, I would agree. Gathering says starter packs average almost 2 rares per pack. Opened a ton in the test server. Nice. I wouldn't count that to go forward though. I've opened a decent amount of packs in my playing time, and a lot of them has just been standard packs, 1 rare. Which isn't always a bad thing. Depends upon what the rare is, and it depends upon how the set starts playing. There are some commons that could come forward and be very valuable. As always, we know there are some commons that punch above their weight, so to speak. So Bolts says, I have decided that I am only buying legendary packs. Going to do 12 during pre-sale, 2 per week after pre-sale. Hopefully third-party market sells them cheaper. Yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to the third-party market action. I'm interested, if you're only going to buy legendary packs, are you just going to depend upon the secondary market to beef up your whole deck? Because, you got a legendary pack. Yeah, you get a legendary alpha. That's cool. Over time, you'll be able to build up your legendaries pretty good. But, you're going to need those rares for the archons and stuff. So Gathering says about 1/3 of the packs are just basic packs. Well, I would figure it would be the opposite way around. I would figure like 2/3 would be basic packs. That's just the way I would figure. People's Guild is here. Welcome. Yo! What's up? Hey, hey, hey. Late night check-in from Taiwan. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate it, as always. Bolts85 says, only going for epics and legendary and listing all commons and rares to get more bang for my buck. How are you going to play if you don't have your rare archons? And the legendary archons will be the drops, which will take a significant amount of time. Or are you not worried about playing in modern? Are you just going to play in wild? Gathering the Magic says, hello to the People's Guild. Thanks for the logo ideas. I went with the one from Dave. Yeah, I'm waiting. I haven't checked back. I answered on that thread. Dave has been very, Dave McCoy has been very, what do I want to say? He's actually reached out a lot to us creators and put a lot of effort into actually helping to draw the creators into a better relationship with the company, help us out, help us do our job, do what we want to do. And, you know, they're not throwing money at us or anything, but they're helping us out. And in this last thing, he just wanted to know if we had logos. I had a logo. I haven't provided it to him yet because he hadn't told me where to send it or anything. But yeah. Volt85 says, nice. We got a celebrity in the guild, in the house. People's Guild. Yeah, the People's Guild puts out a podcast, and it's all audio, right? So if you're driving somewhere or if you're working out or something like that, it's good. They talk to a lot of they have like a steady stream of the biggest name people in Splinterlands and around the game. So it's a great show to listen to when you just need something to listen to. You're working on something else or something like that. Always the interviews are always very interesting, and you always pick up something extra that you didn't know about the game, about how it's produced, why they did something some way, the storyline, you know, all around that. And even the people that are not on the development team that are big in the community, you know, so always very interesting. Terradraz stopped in. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate it. Gathering the Magic says, Trash Panda is awesome and very I almost said dangerous instead of generous. I never met him, so I don't know if he's dangerous. He's always taken to me, sound to me like a nice guy. He's I would say a high portion of the stuff I've given away on this channel has come from Trash Panda. I've kicked in some, and some have come from the team, but a lot of it has come from Trash Panda. Very big supporter, not very vocal. I guess he's usually just on the road, doing his job, getting the job done. Yeah, big shout out to him. People's Guild says, all good. Glad you got a bunch of solid options. International Travel Channel says they want to sell starter packs as long as Conclave Arcana is the latest set. Only buyable from the shop directly. Oh, okay. So you can't turn around. I did know that they are going to be for sale until the set ends. That's the biggest difference. You know, the rest of the packs, there's a sellout or a burnout. Okay. There's a certain amount, and they'll be burnt on a regular basis, just as with Rebellion. But once they're gone, they're gone. Now, with the starter packs, that's different. They're continually sold throughout the life of the set. I didn't know that you couldn't turn around and resell. Although I don't know, I don't know if there's any. Would there be any financial benefit to buy a bunch of I don't think there's any financial benefit to turn around and try to flip starter packs. That's what I'm saying. I think that they were put in there just as more of a new player helper, or even us regular guys, you know, who just want to, like my position, that I think it would be a good way to level up some Archons, even if you like want multiple sets of Archons for survival mode or something like that. Ime1T, welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Says, I usually stake a bunch of packs for airdrop. Excuse me 1 minute. I thought I was going to sneeze. I usually stake a bunch of packs for airdrop, but maybe this time need to open more and sell earlier for peak value. Always an unknown best path. Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier as well, or I've been continually thinking about that. Do I want to stake? Do I want to just open the packs? Because immediately there are going to be a certain amount of people that just open packs, throw them on the market, try to make profit that way because the prices are going to be higher. Then, you know, also at the very beginning, you're going to want to level up your cards if you want to play in Modern. So there's many different approaches to this. Plus, you could open your packs, you get a good card, you could throw it on land, like me. If I open my packs and I got a black foil, guess what? That baby's working land. You may be booing me in the background, but guess what? Those production points are going on land because one card out of a set is probably not going to make or break my play, especially in Wild, if I haven't gotten up and running and playing in Modern yet. I'm more focused at this point on making sure my land is balanced in production and being able to move into that midnight potion production. Not that I think I'm going to be able to make a lot. You know, if you caught my video this past few days ago on midnight production, how much I think that they're going to basically cost to produce a midnight potion. You know, it's not really about the cost because it's not, you know, I think, you know, spoiler, it was about 60 DEC that worth of materials this week that would cost to make a midnight potion. But you've got a lot of other factors, right? And you got to factor in the fact that a lot of people making these are just going to use them to open their own packs. So there's, you know, at the very beginning, there's not going to be a whole lot on the market, and what are on the market are going to be relatively expensive in my guess. Okay, let's jump back into chat. Oh, chat went fast. Archmage with 3 R's is in the house. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate it. The Guild, People's Guild said, the real McCoy, big fan. Bolt says, not playing ranked battles till we get new skins. Interesting. Dehota's in the house. Hey, hey. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. People's Guild says, at Bolts85, I hope you heard your shout out in our chat with Gathering the Magic. Your reveal is my pick for best in class. There have been a lot of cool cards revealed lately, and shout out to let's take a look. I'm bringing up my Discord here just so I can look into the one thing that I'm looking in the eye candy section. Blaze has been doing a really good job of upkeeping a lot of the new art and in the eye candy section. Before, we would go like months and months without having anything in the eye candy section, you know. So, and if you guys missed it, there's a new card that looks suspiciously like a famous singer. I thought that was funny. I got a good laugh. You know, I don't laugh enough in my life, I think. And when I do get a good laugh, I stop and I'm like, oh, that felt good. But yeah, I will have to get me a Tay Lore Swift. Okay, jumping back into chat. Let's see what people are saying. Gathering says, we will probably have a guildmate designing one of the summoners. Trash Panda. Nice. That would be cool if it was a panda. That would be cool. Unfortunately, I don't think we have pandas as a race, but that would be cool. It wouldn't have a racial synergy. Beer Money Engines here. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by, Farrell. Unless you get real lucky, it's difficult to profit from flipping in any TCG. I assume Splinterlands isn't much different. Well, if you said that during the Chaos Legion days, which was about a year ago, or even currently with Chaos Legion, I would agree with you because that set was heavily overprinted. I'm doing a little backtracking here because Pharaoh Silver from the Beer Money Engine is not usually around here. I met him and started working with him on the other game I cover, and he covers some other play-to-earn games. But with the last set, Rebellion, the card pack sales are up, have maintained their value and actually increased in value, and the actual singles have increased in value as well, because over the last I know specifically like the last 6 months or so, they've introduced a lot of things within game where there are other use cases for the cards, so in other words, like if I don't specifically play in a modern match, I can use it in wild, or I can take that card on the land section of the game and I can stake it and make money that way, and produce materials that way. So if you're not playing modern or wild, you can always play in the new in the new survival mode. It blew my mind there for a minute. So there's a lot of different uses for the cards. Flipping in this game, flipping cards has been primarily a big thing right at the beginning of the set. People opening packs, selling off singles, making a high profit margin. So because there's a lot of players right there at the beginning of the set that want to build their setup, quickly so they can get into modern and play. So that's where that would come in. Foo says they will be great for me as someone who won't afford 20 plus standard packs on a whim. Yeah, I know. I'm right there with you. I think I've been watching the numbers. Did you guys see how much SPS? Sorry. Didn't want to burp right into the microphone. How much SPS was staked in this last week, let alone how much money was spent on packs? Yeah, it just boggles my mind. It just goes to show what a diversity of people we have within the game. Let's go over to Conclave Arcana and let's just look at the leaderboard, right? Okay, Brave Tofu's still at the top of the leaderboard, still at 54 million. So that represents, at stake about 54,000, 52,000-ish dollars, US dollars, That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So overall has been spent almost $1 million, at stake, 946 million, which let's look at whatever. I probably just stated that wrong. 946,236,000 times, what's the current going rate of DEC? 0.98. Where'd my calculator go? So there you go. A lot of money. A lot of money. A lot. It continually boggles my mind how much money. And I'm not saying anything about the game. I love the game. If I didn't love the game, I wouldn't continue playing. It's just I've always approached the game differently than the guys at the top, right? The top, it's got to be a business for them, right? It's got to be a business spending that much money, Dehota says, I think you can resell starter packs. I haven't seen otherwise. Either have I. But I'm still trying to think of a use case why you would want to buy and resell starter packs. Gathering Magic says, would be funny if a year or two down the road, those starter packs go up in value once Conclave Arcana sale is done. True. True. That is a use case going towards, the future kind of looking at it. I make my profit on my $10 account flipping Chaos Legion packs, beer money. Yeah, you've continually done that, flip things like that. People's Guild says, I'll boo you in the foreground. Gathering says, my black foil would go on land too. The People's Guild said, I would love to get a black foil. Well, yeah, Razi, which is the new gnome. I don't know what I was going to say. Brain fart. Wibble says, black foil is too good for the conflicts. No, yeah, I mean, who would put one in the conflicts? I don't know. But, just to be clear, we love talking about the black foils, but they're so low percentage to get. Those are the chase cards. Bolts85 says, Splinterfest 2025 cookout with famous Daves and Dave McCoy. Lucky Dwarf is here. Welcome. Says, evening, guys. Hey, you know what we got to do? We have got to give away a legendary pack. I've got a legendary pack here to give away, Conclave Arcana set. And, of course, we are going to do another trivia question. If you would like to get a legendary Conclave Arcana pack sent to you, in the chat, you do hashtag answer, all in capital letters. Hashtag answer, and then whatever your answer is. The first person to get in chat with the correct answer wins the prize. And Foos is not, cannot get into this because we have to have a different winner. Okay, so here's the question. Once again, hashtag answer, all in capital letters. And the prize is a legendary Conclave Arcana pack that I'll send you after the show. Here's the question. Who uncovered the Conclave's secret plan and tried to alert the rest of the kingdoms and empires of Praetoria? Who uncovered the Conclave's secret plan and tried to alert the rest of the kingdoms and empires of Praetoria? There's your question. Hashtag answer, all in capital letters, and then your answer. First answer gets it, Foos is out of it. Okay, let's jump back into, I'm just waiting for chat to kick in there. Crypto Beaver says, portion near. Incorrect. The People's Guild got it. The answer is Keelan Gaines. Okay. Crypto Beaver. Deota says Taylor Swift. Portioneer was the one that was responsible for the Conclave secret plan. Portioneer is incorrect. So the People's Guild wins it. And People's Guild, please tell me what account you want me to send that pack to. The answer was Keelan Gaines. Keelan Gaines is a spy. And he found out Portioneer's plan, Portioneer and the Conclave's plan, and tried to let everybody know about it. He wasn't so successful, though. Okay, you want me to send that to B-Jangles? Okay, so congratulations to Foos and B-Jangles for winning a couple packs this week. And once again, thanks to Trash Panda for sponsoring the giveaways. Let's go ahead and jump back into chat. We're almost at the bottom of the hour. Just seen, isn't a Trash Panda a raccoon? You're right. I just thought about that. You're right. So it would have to be a raccoon card. But raccoons still are not one of the racial synergies. But that would be cool. So I stand by my statement. Pandas would be cool. Raccoons would be cool too. Gathering Magic says Fire Panda, and they started talking about Famous Dave's barbecue place. I went to Famous Dave's once. It was mediocre. You've got to know that I'm hypercritical. I smoke my own meats, and I take great care in smoking the meats. I've got a nice pellet smoker, and I can make some really good smoked meat. So whenever I go into barbecue joints, I'm very critical. Like I used to be a pastry chef for a number of years in my life, and I was very critical about desserts and things like that when I went into restaurants. So a lot of restaurants with their smoked meats and stuff, they just don't impress me, because if you got a good smoker at home and you know what you're doing, you can make some melt off the bone meat at home, and then you just go to restaurants and you're just like, I paid $50 for this. I can make better at home, you know? Deota says, wait until the proposal that just passed changes the 2.5% burning fee down to 0.5%. Ime1T says, starters should be tradable. That's what I thought. I hope to offer one every week for a wild ghost card tournament. Oh, that would be cool. I would like to get back into playing some tournaments. I don't play on a daily basis, except for my my guild brawls once a week, but I would like to do a tournament. Tournaments is something I haven't done a lot of. Gathering says 26.5 million SPS burned since 412. Yeah, I had pulled down a. I know we're running a little bit over, but I wanted to show this. Let me pull up this. Somebody had, I believe this was the SPS DAO, had put this into. I think it was on X. They posted this on X. Earlier, and this was just a few hours ago. But 160 million SPS has been burnt this past. So this just amazed me. I saw the guys on chat a couple days ago. Just everybody was burning SPS left and right, and I got to tell you, I didn't burn any SPS. Every SPS I can't say I've sold much or burned much of any SPS. Every SPS I earn goes directly staked to my account, and I'm creeping up on 150,000. So, yeah, I'm one of those guys who, once again, not investment advice. I always say that. I don't want anybody to get into trouble over me. But ever since I've started getting SPS in the game, it just all goes staked, okay? Because here in a few years, we're going to get to the point where SPS has been completely printed. And at that point, I think there's going to be a huge change in the value of the SPS. And I want to be there with my bag of SPS sitting there. And, every SPS I get, it's staked, and it's staying there until that day. And, so that's what I'm doing. I didn't burn any. It's great that those guys were jumping on it, and some of those guys at the top end were burning a lot. I'm surprised that let's do a refresh here. I'm surprised that with all the burning going on, SPS is still taking a dive. But with that said, it's still up from where it was. So, and I do like the fact that DEC is held pretty close to $1 here. So, it made it a no-brainer when I bought my packs to just go ahead and use credits, because it was pretty close, a little bit above $1, right around there at that point. And then, the back end of those credits just buys DEC anyway. So, People's Guild says the answer is Bronze Dragon Beer. Yep. That's an answer for a different trivia question. Okay, well, that's we'll call it here. Thanks everybody for dropping by. I appreciate it. Hope everything's going well in your Conclave Arcana action, or if you're working on land. I'm mostly working on land, but I have bought some packs. So hope everything goes well, and you have a great week. So this has been Bronze Dragon once again, hoping everyone on your side is happy and healthy. And hey, I'll see you in Splinterlands, Conclave Arcana, and the land within Splinterlands.